Okay, good evening, Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in tonight. My name's DrWeez, and it is Friday night, and we've got another night of riveting overclocking coming your way. So tonight we're going to be doing SuperPower 32M on the MSI Z170 Titanium Gaming, along with some B-DAR memory from Corsair. The powers tonight's going to be delivered again by the Corsair Elite AX1500R, and that's a nice one that they've removed the OCP on it, so we can really push it to the max. Other than that, let's just have a look at what else we got going on the bench. It was just transition that across so you can have a look-see. So the power supply, we got the Cooler Master JetFlo fans, are the ones I like to use. The CPU cooling is going to be provided by the Beast. And then we just got to straightforward memory, nothing exciting going on there. And then obviously the MSI Z170 Gaming, XPOWER Gaming Titanium Edition. Right, so if you guys were following the overclocking on Tuesday, we ended up setting up Windows and fine-tuning it and just really getting ready for SuperPower 32M. That image was unfortunately not good enough, and ended up having some whole lot of issues. So I spent last night doing that when I was supposed to be streaming some content to you guys. I ended up doing that. But anyway, we're ready to rock and roll tonight. So all we need to do is cool down the CPU, load up the memory profiles, which I prepared for last night, and then see how fast and how quick we can get 32M to run. We need to play with WASA sizes. We need to play with memory timings. And then we need to also try and see exactly how stable this Windows is going to be, because it's not fully ACPR compatible. So I'm not, they say every 2 and 10 run is good. So we're going to have to put that to the test. Other than that, once again tonight I am streaming on Facebook, on Twitch, and on YouTube. So if you're watching on Twitch and you get some issues with bandwidth and some lag and buffering issues, check it out on Facebook. You can look it up on my Facebook profile page, or check it out on YouTube. So you can select your screen resolutions there, and it should be a little bit more bandwidth friendly. Other news in that, on Tuesday night we had some sound issues that should be resolved tonight. Got a new earpiece. The quality sounds a lot better in my test system, but I need your feedback. Is it too loud? Is it too soft? And just let me know. I'm only monitoring the Twitch chat, unfortunately, guys. So if you have any questions, please jump on Twitch, and you can get me at twitch.tv/DrWeez_OC, and then you can drop me a message there. Other than that, I'm going to get the system switched on, cooled down, and get started. It is SuperPower 32M, so it's not going to be terribly exciting, but you know what? There will be a lot of information along the way. So yeah, let's get cracking. Right, so we're ready to rock and roll. So yeah, let's get cracking. Right, so we're ready to rock and roll. Okay, so for everyone that's new to the stream, or you might be tuning in for the first time, let's just go over a couple of things that you have got on the screen. So right down here, we've got the system telemetry. So that CPU temperature is real time. That is what's coming directly from my pot. I do not have a secondary probe on tonight, so I'm reading the temperature from that exact same spot as well. The lab temperature, 24.7 degrees, and that's thanks to a nice little gas heater that I've got running behind me here in the lab to keep me warm. The voltages 1 and 2, that's normally hooked up to the motherboard, so we can see what the CPU voltages and all that are. Because we're running a limited 5 gig on the processor, I don't see a reason to worry about too much tonight. So I haven't hooked any up. We'll see if I get bored during the 32M runs that we will maybe hook something up there, and you can see. So the plan now is to just get the temperature down to about -80. And then I'll go ahead and set the memory timings and the CPU timings. The Windows installation, it's identical to what we did on Tuesday night, other than the fact that I went and just activated this Windows copy, because that's where I fell short last night. I was up and ready, getting the stream going, and I always, before I go live, I like to just test the system just to make sure that we have actually got a running system before we go live. And when I did that, I discovered that my Windows XP activation had failed, and it was basically unusable. So I had to rebuild the image from scratch again. But it's exactly the same thing. We've got all the services disabled. So if you have a look under processes, we've only got a very few processes running here. One important thing that I can show you that I couldn't get working on Tuesday night is it's picking up 4 cores, 4 threads, and I do have Command Center Lite running and working no problem. So the operating system is really ready to rock and roll. A couple of other things which are very important for 32M is you need to just make sure that you've got your page file set up. So I've gone ahead and done that exactly the same as what we did on the stream on Tuesday night, and then also the maximum memory is set to 614. I think I've set it up today. Alright, so we are getting down to about the temperature, and what I want to do is I just want to check, for sanity reasons, the telemetry on the screen versus the telemetry on my Fluke. And to do that, I just need to switch them over. And on my Fluke, I've got -60, and on the telemetry, I've got -60. So perfect. So let's just go ahead and get into the BIOS, and we'll start off loading a profile. Okay. Okay, so I've got a couple of profiles which I was working with on Wednesday night. I was running some XDU. I got my 1719 at 5 gigahertz on XDU, not too shabby. But let's go ahead and just load up this one. So this is just a 50 multiplier on the core, and we've set the BDAR memory to 12, 12, 12. So we'll go ahead and load that, and I'll go through the BIOS as well with you. Alright, so under OC settings, let's just take that and disable that. I see MISC settings have disappeared. Okay, we need to set that. Yes. Hold on. I want to open up that one. That one. Okay, so basically, let me run through what I'm just checking here now. So under the OC menu, we've got MISC settings, EIST and Intel Turbo Boost. You see it's both disabled. So when I'm loading those profiles, it's disabling both those options. And on this Windows XP, we need those options to be enabled. I haven't figured out what's disabling them, so it's just a case of now I think I'm going to start from scratch again. Let's not use these profiles or Windows 8. Dark Gregor, thanks for tuning in. It's good to see you back again on the stream. How are things going? So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to load a profile. I'm going to just restore defaults. If we go back now into OC menu settings, and you can see now those are back. So very quickly, if I go and I load LN2 mode, you'll see that it then disables them. But I'm able to go and re-able them. Now I think with a profile that has got those options disabled, when you save the profile, you can't come back in here and re-enable them. That's what I found the other night. So we'll just start up a whole new profile. It's really not that difficult. We're only running 5 gigahertz. The memory timings are based off of the profile, and we just go back in and tweak them a little bit thereafter. Nothing really terribly exciting. Thanks for the share there, Doc Gregor. I appreciate it. How's the sound quality to you this evening compared to Tuesday night? Right, so we've loaded the LN2 Extreme. The next step we can do is we can load the memory profile at the same time. And freely we can load a preset, BDAR, and then we need to set up the CPU. So for core voltage 1.35, SA voltage 1.35, IO voltage I like to use 1.3, and for DRAM voltage 1.88. And really that's all I really need to go ahead and set at this stage. Okay. Okay, so CPU ratio, we're going to set 50, and then ring ratio 50. Okay, wait, hold on, I'll see what's happened here now. Okay. I see it's disabled that when I set the core. Well, let's see if the Windows works with that. I'll see maybe why that's disabled now. Okay, so save and exit. We need to be around -80 for this for this to work nicely. Not too difficult. Okay. I didn't change 4 cores, 4 threads. This will not boot into Windows with the current settings. My bad. Doc, to answer your question, I've just prepared my hardware. I haven't done any runs at all yet. I actually had everything set up to rock and roll last night to stream, as promised on Thursday night. But what ended up happening was the Windows XP that we set up on Tuesday night unfortunately hit some complications with the activation, and it locked up. You know, with Windows XP, once you reach your activation limit, there's no getting into Windows. I actually reinstalled Windows last night instead of bringing the stream. Okay, so basically, if you're following what I did there, is for this version of Windows, I can't run 4 cores, 8 threads. I have to disable hyperthreading, and I also have to set real thread in beta runner. And that's the only way you can get this version of Windows XP to run on this board. And that's purely because of the partial ACPI support, unfortunately. But it works when it's set up right. Excuse me. Okay. Alright, so we are definitely a little bit behind. I think we can change that here. Okay. I think that's within limits. No, that's out of limits. Okay, so I have to do 100 flat. Okay, so the very strict rules of this contest are that you need to be 5003 or less. So anything more than that is considered to be not acceptable. Sure, but you know what? I do not have do not have the competition background on this hard drive. Give me a second, let's just put it onto this drive quickly. Okay, that's the right one. Yeah, it's important to make sure that you've at least got the backgrounds and everything you need to submit a score prior to doing your first run. The last thing you want to do is end up having a score and not being able to save the screenshot because you forgot the background. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that onto another SSD, and then we will restart this machine with that SSD connected and copy it off and then restart one more time. So it's a little bit of a pain in the ass, but you know what? Rather now than a little bit later. Okay. Okay, so the stream tonight's going to be a little tricky with the temperatures. It shouldn't be too bad. I've just got to keep an eye on the stream because the temperature on the telemetry is the only CPU temperature I have. So I've got my Fluke set up here, but there's it's not actually reading the CPU temperature. That was interesting that hard drive had my name on it. Okay. Alright, so what's happening in the competition so far? I haven't had a look today to see if there are any new scores submitted. Let's quickly have a look at that. Oh, why doesn't it pick up the hard drive? Okay, hold on. Let's do it another way. Okay, let me just plug this drive into my other machine here quickly. My bad. Sorry, guys, for the delay. Okay, let's have a look here quickly. Where is it? I just had it. Okay, so let's just safely remove that device. And we're ready to rock and roll again. So in the competition so far, we've got on stage 1, XTU 5 gig, we've got 3 submissions. And in first place, we've got Ralph with a score of 1797. Next is Alex Rowe with 1795. And coming in third place, we've got Bruno with 1773. Now, Bruno has only new score since Tuesday, and it was done 6700K at 4.99 with a set of G.Skill TridentZs. Right, let's have a look at what we got here now. Temperature -83. Okay. Alright, so we've got 100 megahertz. We've got the stream is cutting. The stream cutting. Sorry, hold on. Let's have a look at what's going on Twitch. Okay, so I've got good output going to the relay server. Where is the stream cutting there, Doc Rigger? On Facebook or on Twitch? Alright, very good. Have a good evening. Thanks for tuning in. Twitch, okay. I'll investigate and let you know of what we found there, Doc Rigger. Thanks for the info. Okay, so I've gone and set up everything. I've got a base clock of 5 gig. I've got 1933 on the memory. Timings are all set to basically auto. What I want to do now, though, quickly is I want to just do a quick base run just to make sure at this point I am at least 32M stable. And I'm going to do that with a quick WASA by using the OC SuperPart tweaker. And I'm going to do a smaller file size of 512 and take it from there. And then this will be our baseline to improve on. So taking another look at what's happening currently in the competition. We've got on the SuperPower 32M stage, we've currently got 2 submissions, the first one being Ralph and the second being Bruno. Ralph is a new submission coming in at 5 min 54 seconds, and that was done on the Z170 Gaming Pro. That looks like a very aggressive time as well. Okay, so let's see where we are in comparison. Wanting to get down to a 554. Oh, starting off with not exacting round, that's a great start. Okay, so that's a nice target to go after there. I'm sure he has better scores. Okay, let's go ahead and look at what we've got set up here. So 12 to 12 is straightforward. We've got all of that tightened up. Okay, and we've got all of that tightened up, right? So this is okay. Let's try what that was. I think was a stable might need a little bit more tinkering. Let's just have a look, see where we are. Alright, one more reboot required. Actually, you know what? Yeah, let's just reboot. It takes a certain type of patience to get through this type of benching. So if you're just tuning in, good evening. Thanks for coming to take a look at what's going on here. So what we have got going on tonight, good evening, yeah, thanks for the question. Is the board good or bad? Right, well, the board's not bad. This is my second board that I'm using since Tuesday. I did manage to break the bias on the other board, like break it. I've actually got to unsolder a bias chip from this board and rebuild that board. But yeah, the board's not bad. I managed to get 1790 on XTU on Wednesday night, just doing a little bit of pre-testing, and I'm quite happy with it. I feel it overclocks B-die adequately. Really not bad at all. So what we're busy with tonight is running SuperPower 32M for the MSI Godlike competition. This is stage 2. The limitations are you must run your CPU at 5 gig and no more. The other limitations are that you can only be in the top 3 leagues on HWBot to take part. And you must use MSI hardware. So this is the first time I'm running 32M on this configuration, and it looks like I'm way too tight or not enough voltage or something to that effect. I'm definitely not 32M stable. So it's always about trying to find out what have I done, where have I done it, and what do I need to change. a real fun process. Okay, let's go and just go back to a base timings. Okay, we'll take that back one as well, and then let's just take this back to disabled. Okay, and let's just see if we can get that to be stable. So the profile that I was trying earlier was what I was using for XTU, but it is nowhere near 32M stable. It could be this Windows, or it could be the memory timing, so it could be the memory voltage. There's a lot of factors that we need to have a look at to see where we are. And the real key here really with 32M is just to find somewhere that you are stable and then work up from there. So that's basically all I'm looking for now, is to where am I stable and where can I work to from there. Okay. Okay. So if you're tuning in, yeah, I'm live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Unfortunately, I'm only monitoring the chat on Twitch, so if you have any questions or any comments, please come and join us in the chat window there, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have. You can also drop me a message on Facebook, but a direct message. Don't leave it on the chat on the video, because unfortunately I can't see that while I'm streaming, and then I can give you any answers you might be looking for there as well. Okay, so that looks like it might be alright. I'm going to go ahead and stop that, and then just set the base clock up to 100, and then just check again. And then if that's fine, then we'll do a full run. We'll do a WASA run, and we'll see how it looks. So running SuperPower 32M is a bit like watching paint dry. I suggest you get a nice cup of coffee, put a movie on, and check in every 4 minutes or so to see how it's going. Or get interactive on the chat, ask me some questions. I do now have time to interact while we wait for this to run. I'd love to hear your feedback on the volume of the voice tonight. We do have some new hardware in place after some complaints on Tuesday that was very soft. I would love to hear your feedback. Okay. So not exact in round loop 4. Okay. Maybe I should put some music on, as this is not very detaining watching something that is in dead silence. Just let me know on the Twitch chat if the volume is too high or too low. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Okay. So what else is going on LAN? Right, so loop 17, at least we're getting some sort of a baseline now. Alright, so this is still a 99 base clock. So if we up the base clock by 1 and we become unstable, then we need to start looking at what it could be, either CPU, not enough voltage, or it could be RO, SA. Really one of those is where we're looking at. So currently Ralph has got a 5min 54. This should come in around 6 minutes to 3 seconds, I think. It's not going to be exceptionally fast. But you know, I think I'm going to go ahead and just save it anyway. I don't care if it's good or bad. It's a score I can then submit, and at least then I'm on the scoreboard. Oh, 618 is terrible. So I changed my mind. I won't be saving that. We can do better. Oh, it ran. Super power, super power. Mm. Well, so tonight's playlist is available on SoundCloud, and it is put together by Troutman. So just look him up on SoundCloud and you can grab it for yourself. Quite an interesting selection, I must be honest. All free. That's one thing about running Superpower 32M with a fixed frequency. Sure, it does give you enough time to do some odd jobs around the bench room while you're waiting. So, as to not get exceptionally bored. Alright, so we shaved 3 seconds off there. So that I will go ahead and just save as my baseline. I have to change the resolution of the windows. The reason why I had to do that is because checksum was off the screen, basically, almost. Right, so you need to go and set the background, obviously, for the competition. You need to have all your tabs open. And your FRA. So that is 20 seconds off the pace. That's a lot of time. Let's change this resolution up a bit more. Okay, so Waza will give you 3 seconds, so 17 seconds I've got to find in timings. Should be doable. No problem. Not tonight, but doable. Alright, so unlike everybody else on the internet, you can see I truly am running within the bounds of the competition, which is at 5003 or lower. Okay. What we should do is just run that again without a Waza. Actually, let's do a Waza and see how stable we are with a Waza. Again, we're just going to do a small Waza and see what we achieve. I really need to set affinity as well and test each of my cores individually. What we'll do is we'll do that next. Right, so let's just give a recap of where we are at the moment. For those of you who might just be tuning in or just having a look-see, tonight's plan is just to do some SuperPower 32M running on the Z170A XPOWER Gaming Titanium Edition, and this is all to do with the MSI Godlike 2D battle for the Extreme guys. This competition, you need to be in the top 3 leagues of HWBot, so it's Elite, Extreme, and what's the other one? Novice, I think it is. I'm not too sure. Shit, I should actually check that. To take part, so if you are in one of the lower 3 leagues, there is the ambient battle that you can take part in, which is basically the same competition but no extreme cooling allowed. So you have to keep your temperatures up above, I think it's 20 degrees ambient. So there is a little bit for everybody. So from the extreme guys to the ambient guys, you might look at the extreme competition at the moment and think, wow, there's like only 3 guys taking part. Let me tell you, the nature of competitive overclocking, it really means the guys hold their scores and their runs very close to their chest. You often don't see any submissions until the last, 8 hours, you know, and you start seeing guys coming out of the woodwork from all over the place. So it really is, it's a tight race. Everybody doesn't want to give anybody else a hint of what's going on with their setup or with their scores, because basically the theory behind it is, if I know I need to chase down 6 minutes, I will not sleep until I can chase down that 6 minutes. So that's the thinking behind the extreme guys and why they like to do what we call sandbagging. But you know, ultimately, it's only a hobby, and while there are some really good prizes to grab, you know, there's also people that need to learn how these things get put together. So I'm quite happy to give away most of my secrets. I really have nothing to hide. If we can get more people interested in extreme overclocking and competitive overclocking, you know, the better it becomes basically everyone. And all this underhanded stuff really gets on my nerves at times. I'd rather have a level playing field, sort of like the HWBot World Tour. So it's a really quick-paced competition. You know, it doesn't give a lot of room for error, and you've really got to be on your toes. So I'm looking forward to the next leg, which is coming up in Indonesia. I'm very interested to see how that all plays out. And then after that, I think it's off to the finals in Germany. So I think we'll be arriving in Germany around the 1st of December. And then, it's for the World Tour finals. That's going to be quite exciting. But anyway, so I'm busy running 32M at the moment. I've got my CPU set to 5 gig, I've got my cache set to 5 gig. That's the maximum we're allowed to run for this competition. I've got my memory set to 1933, 12, 12, 12, and a couple other things. Basically the auto profile. What I'm trying to do is get a baseline, and I'm trying to just set up where I'm going to improve from. And when we started off the session, if you tuned in earlier, if you've been watching for a while, you would have seen that I really struggled to just even get one loop done. That all seems to have stabilized now, and I seem to have found my good foundation. And from here we'll build. So it looks like this setting as well is wise or stable. So I will go ahead and save this profile, because that's where I'll always revert back to when I make the change that actually makes things worse, and I need to just go back to make sure that the system is stable. So it is not a lot of exciting action, so that's why I've got the music playing. If you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook, I'm only monitoring the chat on Twitch, so please, if you've got any questions on Facebook, hit me up with a direct message or a private chat, and then or drop us a message on the public chat there on Twitch. I'm going to go ahead and put the music back on and keep trying to improve the score. Thanks for tuning in. Alright. Alright, Bruno, thanks for tuning in, man. How you doing? How are things hanging in Romania? Yeah, bro. I saw your submissions there, looking good so far, man. Keep pushing it. There's going to be some interesting competition there from you, I think. Not much to learn here, unfortunately. I'm just finding my way through the dark. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do another quick run just to see how stable this Windows is and how the score's swinging. But I'd also like to try, before I go and do anything further, is try to test the affinities on this processor, see if it makes any difference. So, very quickly, one other thing that I like to do normally when I'm running 32M is I've got a book. So let me just switch the view quickly while that's running. So I've got a little black book, and if you can see, I basically put it into different columns, and that's from loop 0 to finish, so 0 to 24 plus finish. And what I actually do is, as it's running, I write down each loop. And my secret behind that, and the reason behind that, is because at any given time, when you're building on your score, you're really wanting to keep an eye on where you quicker, where you're slower. So your things like your WASs and your timing, it might boost your first 10 loops, but then slow down your second 14 loops, or vice versa, or you might have a quick start and a slow finish. All of these type of things can really be tweaked by your WASO and by your timings. So it's really nice to, at a glance, be able to have a look and be able to compare your last 3 or 4 runs as to what your scores were. So normally I start doing that once I get my baseline, my base scores, like pretty much where we are now. I'll start actually writing down each one. So it takes away a little bit of the boredom, gives you a little something to do while it's busy running for 6-7 minutes. And yeah, so that's a little piece of DrWeez advice for you this evening. So the time now is 10 to 9 on this lovely Friday evening. The temperature outside is warming up quite nicely here in South Africa. We've gone from sort of 2 degrees in the evening. We're up to now like 12 degrees in the evening, so it's a little bit warmer. I've still got the heater on in the bench room because I don't like to have jerseys and all that sort of stuff on. I like to just keep it nice and loose and free. Overclocking strangles you at the best of times. You don't want your clothing to do the same. Right, and yep, so for those of you who are just tuning in, let's just go through the whole screen here. Down the bottom here, we've got the system telemetry, right? The CPU temperature is the real-time temperature coming from my CPU pot. So that's the only probe I've got connected to that, and that's the temperature I'm reading to see where the temperature is. V1 and 2 is normally your voltages 1 and 2, and in fact, let's actually go ahead and connect that up now. I'm going to go ahead and put it into, let's have a look at maybe the CPU voltage, it's the first one, and then we can do RO voltage, or SA voltage, SA voltage. So I'll go ahead and connect that up, and we should start to get some voltages coming through on the telemetry for there. So V1, we've connected up to the CPU voltage, and that's 1.43 volts, and then V2, I'm connecting up to my SA voltage, and we can switch to the hardware view, just so I can show you if we transition across there, right? So I've connected up here in the front of the board, and that just goes all the way through to the little telemetry device here, which then streams it directly to you guys. And let's get back to SuperPower. So that's what the system telemetry is all about. And then obviously in the top left-hand corner, right-hand corner, I don't know, I'm not too sure, I think it's the right-hand corner. You obviously got my ugly face. Then activities, well, there should be that should be a feed coming from Twitch or from Facebook for, you know, likes and smiles and hearts and all that sort of stuff. I'm not too sure if that's actually working yet. I'll have to check up. And then obviously we've got the lab, which is obviously the view of all of the equipment running, and then the chat. So as we're chatting on Twitch, that will come up on the stream. So when you're watching the replay, you don't think that I'm losing my mind talking to myself. You can actually see the questions that have been asked. And guys, please don't be shy. Ask away if you've got any questions. I am here to help and to teach. So we've got a question from Bruno. You have a new bias for titanium? Can I have it? For sure, man. Just drop me a message on Facebook with your email address, and I'll pop it off to this evening store. Okay, so that time, if I'm not mistaken, is slower than the last time. Okay, so a 6-minute 2 and a 6-minute 4, 6-minute 5. Okay, so it does look like the reports that we had that says 2 out of 10 runs are good. That's going to make this very, very long competition, man. Very, very long. Okay, let's go ahead and just set the desktop background. I'm going to close that and close that. And let's go ahead and run it again. This time I'm going to set affinity. I'm going to do the small wazzer again. Okay, set the task manager. And I'm going to set affinity. Okay, Bruno, got your email address. I'll send that off to you this evening. I'm going to send it as a RAR file. So just use WinRAR to open that up. Okay, so while that is running, I'm going to put the music back on, and I'm going to go ahead and write down our best run so that I've got it on the book to compare. So if you've got any questions, please drop them in the chat on Twitch, and I'm happy to answer any of them, within reason, of course. Alright, so got a question now quickly coming in on Facebook Messenger regarding the bias. Okay, so the bias for the MSI titanium, the GOC bias, and a few of the other biases. Right, so there's two issues that I can tell you about that I know of. The one issue is with the GOC bias, that it's got a problem with the SATA. So occasionally it won't boot, it won't actually initialize the SATA. And then the second issue is that for Windows XP, you can't have hyperthreading enabled. Okay, and that's not just for the GOC bias, that is for any of the Windows XP functionality. If you're going to use the F7 method during the installation like we have now, you have to disable the hyperthreading. So if you're going to use the MPS method, I think you can have hyperthreading enabled, but yeah, that's the information I have so far on what I've discovered. The F7 method is partially ACPIP compatible, so in theory it should be a little bit better. I'm still in the process of testing all of that, and really I think I'm going to run out of time on this competition because there's so much testing to do. There's so many compatibility nightmares and issues that you've got to just find the right configuration that's going to give you the right score, and hopefully you can find it in time. I can tell you that it looks like Ralph and Alex Rowe have found the right combination of hardware and operating systems, especially Ralph, who's been pumping out some decent superpower 32M scores already. It's fantastic. So the bias I'm using is the latest beta bias. Nothing exciting, nothing special. It's just I don't think it's available publicly. Or when I say publicly, to the general public, to all XOC guys, it's available just by going onto the HWBot thread. I think if it's not there, then you just drop a message through to MSI and they send it through to you. Alright, back to the tunes, I think. Okay, not exacting round. I'm going to go ahead and restart this machine. Mm, 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 mm. because I really wish I'd written down some past testing with BDI. I've been using AFR for so damn long. I know I went through a lot of pain when BDI first came out to get everything down. I know I did a sub 6 minute. I think a 6:54 was my best ever. I just can't find my notes on it. It's really frustrating. I've learned a lot since then, so maybe I can improve. Hey, Handrave, thanks for the feedback. Are you talking about on Twitch? I'm just having a look there. Definitely on, when I go through to my dashboard, it's showing up there. What can I say? Maybe just try reloading the page. I see the stream quality this evening is acceptable according to Twitter standards. I'm not too sure what else you could try there. I'm wondering if you can give me some more information maybe about what browser you're using or anything to that effect. Twitch, yeah, okay, that's very strange. It's definitely coming through my side. Let me message Troutman and ask him if he can check anything on his side. If you're unable to get it through on Twitch, you give it a try on YouTube or on Facebook and let me know if that works. Okay, not exactly round. I need to concentrate there quickly. Let me just message Troutman. Okay, it's okay. It's loading for me constantly, but they both work on YouTube. Okay. Yeah, sure, yeah. Okay, I've asked Troutman just to check it out and see if he can pick up anything that might be causing an issue on Twitch tonight. On my side, I don't have any streaming issues that's coming through. Awesome. I'll let you know in the chat if anything comes up when you come back from the restart. So I'm going to pump the music back on. Okay, so we got up to loop 15, not exactly round. Where were we on timings? Few seconds, right. Yeah, welcome back, Houndwave. Yeah, I don't know what to say, man. Maybe try a different browser. I can't see why my stream would not load at all. I've asked Troutman from OCTV to have a look to see if he can pick up anything, but to be honest, I don't have any feedback for you, man. Sorry. Yeah, only thing I can think of is that maybe your browser's trying to protect your eyes from ugly image, you know. Consumer protection, you know. Yeah, that's very strange. I'm definitely going to see if I can investigate and figure out maybe what was the cause. I'll get my team of guys onto it and let you know if we find anything that could be the problem, man. Is it something new that's only happened today, or is it happened in the past? Maybe now, yeah. Look, I'll ask the guys, you know, if they've changed any settings that might be causing the problem. It might not be on your side, but I haven't had anybody else complaining. I'll let you know if we find anything, man. You need the megahertz. I don't think the temperature is helping. I've had the stable before on the impact. song is irritating me. Just change it up. So this run's going to be slow for two reasons. The first being is we're only running at 4.950. The second reason being no WASA. So again, it's just, let's just check if we're stable. I'm getting a little tired. I don't think I'm going to be running for much longer tonight, maybe another half hour or so. Where am I as far as this competition is concerned? Well, I'm a bit worried because I'm struggling to get my memory to get. I'm struggling to run my memory any quicker, so I'm not going to be able to run 2000. I don't think. I definitely know on the impact I was able to run 2000 memory, but this is the big board, so this might be my maximum amount of frequency. It looks like I might need to rush out and go and buy myself a Z170 gaming impact microboard on those mini boards that everybody else is using. So that's basically what it looks like at the moment to where I am. On the extreme, I wasn't able to run a 2000 memory 32M stable either. I can't remember ever being able to do that. I used mostly the impact when I was doing bead dart testing, and I know that for a fact I was able to get WASA stable at 2000 with these DIMMs. So it is possible, but I think we might just be limited because this is the big board and not the small board. I'm not going to fight it too much, I don't think. From here, I need to just start testing the affinities and also start to test my different WASA sizes. I think from that will be about my best score. I don't know if I'm going to actually give this competition too much more effort or energy. I don't think without a gaming board I'm going to have stand a chance against the likes of Ralph or Alex Rowe. And your first or second is exactly where you want to be for the prizes on this competition. You don't want to be coming 10th. So, Bruno, this might be all yours, my friend. I don't even think I can beat you at the moment. Andre, yeah, I don't know what to say, mate. I've messaged Isaiah. They're not available at the moment. I think it's Friday night in Canada. I think the guys are all out partying. I'll definitely get a hold of Timothy in the morning and ask him if they've changed anything on the streaming side, on the server side. But I suspect it might. I suspect it might be something that they've changed. I've never had the issue on Twitch where it's told me that my stream quality was average. Normally my stream quality is excellent. So I will drop a message in the chat at the start of the next streaming session later on in the week if we find out what the problem might have been. See on Facebook I got hit up for some copyright violations. I can assure you that the music we're playing on SoundCloud is all free. I'll sort that out with Facebook in the morning. Okay. So let's go ahead and just have a look at what we got here. I wonder if I've got timing configuration on here so I can show you guys what I got set. No, I don't have timing configurator on here, so I can't really show you all the subs. I'll make sure that that's in place for the next stream. So that was stable. Let's go ahead and we change the base clock first of all to 100. And let's run again. All right, have a good evening, and Rave, thanks for tuning in. I'll be going offline in about 15-20 minutes or so, and we'll be back later on in the week. Have a good weekend, and thanks for tuning in. this is very slow. 411. 18's 432. 18 426. So I guess the trick now is to just run. It's going to be a long event. Right, let's see if we was a stable. I'm going to do small was I? And I'm just going to use SCX. So let's do 512. Good evening, Chaufman. Thank you for tuning in. How are you doing? We were just commenting that it's a Friday night in Canada. You're out at the Joel somewhere. Alright, there's DreamHack this weekend. How could I forget? It sounds like it's going to be an absolute joy. Damn it, man. Loop 13. 256, 453, 241, 953, 227, 406, 212, 891, 158, 0.36, 7, 143, 844, 8, and loop 5, 114, 813. Okay, I think it's temperature related, maybe. Put that back. Hmm. Okay, losing 200 milliseconds at the moment with a smaller WASA. That mustn't drip. Thanks for tuning in, Big Block 99 or 990. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, the stream, we've been working hard and getting the quality of the stream up. I just hope the content is as good as it looks. Tonight, what we're busy with is Superpower 32M. It's really just like watching paint dry to an effect. The hardware I'm running tonight is the MSI Z170A XPOWER Gaming Titanium Edition with the 6700K CPU. The limitations for this round of the MSI Godlike competition are a 5 GHz CPU and no limitations on the cooling for this division and no limitations on the memory clock or anything to that effect. So I've got a set of Samsung BDA memories. I've got them set to about 1930 odd and 12 quite tight sub-timings. I've been battling to find a WASA stable at this frequency or the speed with the tight timings. This is the first completed loop with the WASA, and we've just broken the 6 minute mark. So yeah, you tuned in at what I can say is an exciting time, but not really. we did break 6 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and save this result. The first thing I need to do is obviously change the background. The background I had on there was my previous best score. And the reason why I did that is so that I could actually see whether I was improving or not. Let's just go and preview that and set the clean background on. And I'm going to save the score so I can submit it to the competition. So if this is your first time you're catching the stream or catching the replay, we've got the system telemetry on the bottom left-hand side of the screen. That is real-time data coming directly from my system. V1 is the voltage I've got set on the CPU, and V2 is the voltage I've got set on SA. CPU temperature is the actual temperature of the CPU pot. That is exactly the same reading that I'm using. I don't have a thermal pro or anything else set up anywhere else to see the temperature. What you're seeing is exactly what I'm seeing. So it's real time, and it's fantastic. It gives you guys a lot of insight to what's going on. As far as everything else is concerned, well, like I said, it's 32M. It's like watching paint dry, but you know what? It's got to be done. And go through the replay. I think there's some good information that I've shared with everybody. I'd love to hear feedback on what you think of the audio. We have recently just purchased a new Bluetooth headset to improve the quality of that as well. Right, so as per competition rules, you need to have your 4 tabs open, you need to have your checksum available, and your motherboard, memory, SPD, and megahertz screen. Alright, so we're going to save that, and we're good to go. So I'm just going to go ahead and write down, while that's running again, I'm going to write down the loops. I set that as a background so that I can compare. And just go click OK. Now, for anybody that's really evil, you can do this to your colleagues. Set the desktop background. And they'll be clicking away, wondering why the hell they can't close anything. Meanwhile, it's an image of the background. That's a great little prank to play. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to try and run that same one with a slightly bigger waza this time. So that was with a 64. Let's try 128. Messed up here. Okay, we'll restart this run. Alright, so let's just stop that. Start again. Okay, well, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I guess what I should actually do is on the weekends I should stream at odd hours to try and catch the audience at the different sides of the world. Something I'll put through to the team to see if they can work out some sort of schedule. And the toughest is definitely the US and Taiwan, and sort of the East, on the extremes of the time zones for us here in Africa. It's quite extreme. Okay, not exacting around. I'm 6 seconds away from the current first place. It's a long way away, man. 6 seconds is far away. Nah, that's not gonna work, is it? 6 seconds, 6 seconds. Sure. I'm gonna need megahertz, I'm gonna need timing. Let's see, do we have DDR? Ground, RO, VSA, DDR. We do have DDR here. Right, so V2 is my DDR voltage. I think that is reading high. That is not what I've got set. Let's just check that with the multimeter. I think the offset is a little bit higher than what is set. Let's just check that. If it is what I've set, then it's way too high. Here we go. Yeah, so my multimeter reads 1896. And 1896 versus 207. Okay, so it's reading, yeah, it's about 0.1 higher. Bruno, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I'm going to be following you there soon, mate. Thinking about wrapping this up in the next 10 minutes or so as well. It's getting late this side. Fortunately, I'm not as young as I used to be. So let's try 128. That was my mistake. supposed to run the WASA. I wonder, I could probably find the megahertz on a small board. I don't know how I'm going to find 6 seconds. 6 seconds is a big ask. Yeah, it's you know, trial and error is such a broad statement, but yeah, okay, it is a bit of trial and error. So the larger your WASA, the more stress it puts on the memory. The smaller your WASA, the less stress it puts on the memory. So basically what I'm trying to do here now is I'm trying to find where can what is the largest size WASA I can run to get the most gain, because obviously the larger the WASA, the higher, the bigger the gain. So, but then again, more of the stress you put onto it. So yes, it is a lot of trial and error. It's all about trying to just find that sweet spot, that little sugar pot in the pile of poo called copy WASA. You know, when you're working with these fixed megahertz competitions, it's really all about pushing the most megahertz with the tightest timings, and the biggest WASA is the one that wins the day. And unfortunately, that's par for the course, yeah. I think I might try a different IMC just to see if we have any difference. I've got a couple of good IMCs. This one here, I think, is my go-to IMC. That's the one that I can do the highest frequency with, but it might not be my strongest superpower. The other thing you've also got to try is your different cores, because the different cores might give you different times. So I've also got to test that, but I don't think I'll be testing it tonight, that's for sure. It's about time to wrap up and hit the sack. Yeah. Excuse me. Starting to get yawns. I'm going to go ahead and just save this profile. It will be my starting point when I continue. There's two things I'm going to try and do, I think. I've got some Zadak 511 BDAR, and I've got some Corsair BDAR as well. I think I might need to just do some other testing here. I'm not too chuffed with what I've been able to squeeze here, but you know, I'm also judging this board against the impact, and it's not really a true comparison. The impact really is it's a small board. It's got less space between the CPU and the tracks, and it's also too dim, so I must be really careful about judging this memory too hard on the board. I think it's done very well. I managed to break 6 minutes. That was sort of my milestone for the evening. Other than that, I don't know what more. I don't know how I'm going to squeeze 6 seconds out without being able to run 2000 memory. I think my efficiency is not too shabby. I'm going to go away and I'm going to think about this a little bit. I'm not going to spend any more time tonight. I think it's important for me to go and spend a little time with the fiance as well. So yeah, I think guys, on that note, I'm going to go ahead and break down, wrap it up, and call it a night. I'm going to try and get back and do another session maybe sometime over the weekend, and then definitely during the week we'll be looking again at some more of this action. On the XPU front, I've already done some runs. I've got a score ready to submit, and I think by Sunday night I will be submitting some of these scores. The competition that I'm taking part in, the one that we're busy submitting for now, closes in a couple of days' time, 18 days. So that gives us a few more sessions. The next stage, stage 3, opens for submission on, where's the date? It doesn't give me a date here. But I think it opens next week. So pretty soon we should start to see a couple of Geekbench 3 no limit scores coming in. Now that's going to be the interesting stage, because you're not going to be able to use the micro board on that stage. You're going to need to use the titanium or a full board. So it's going to be interesting to see the strategy. There again, it's also divided by cores. So I don't think we're going to be seeing any of the big boards coming in. I think it's really going to be all BZ170. And of course, the prizes in this competition are worth the effort. First place being a nice set of BDAR memory, Core i7 6950X, and then obviously the XPOWER Titanium Edition. Second place as well, you're looking at the X99 Gaming Pro Carbon, again the 6950X, and also some BDAR memory. Third place, even, nothing wrong with that. You're looking at a X99 Gaming Pro Carbon, a 6900K. I mean, it's still an 1800 Rand processor, and some more memory. We start looking at the fourth place, and then, you're only getting a Z170 motherboard, and fifth place is a goodies pack. But, first, second, third, that's some valuable prizes there. And I think we're going to see a lot of guys coming out of the woodwork come, the end of the competition. I'd just like to quickly, before I say goodbye, is thank my sponsors for the Pro OC Cup this year. Well, this round, at least the third round, that's Intel South Africa, who have provided me with the 6950X just to use for the competition, and HyperX, who have supplied us with a couple of memory kits to use. So I'll be back again definitely Tuesday night for a quick session. We've got Pro OC Cup submission windows are coming up next week, so we'll need to get some scores for that, and I'll only be dedicating one session to that next week. The benchmark we'll be running is the Geekbench 3, so I'll be using a Rampage 5 Edition 10 with the 6950X, and I think my CPU is only good for about a 5.1. So yeah, like I said, I won't be spending a lot of time on it. I'll be getting a score, maybe seeing if I can get a little bit more out of the memory this time, and wrapping up. But yeah, thanks guys for tuning in. The replays of the session will be live. Will be live tomorrow or on Monday. I'm not too sure. Yeah, probably the replays will be live tomorrow, and another session up later this weekend. I hope the sound from the new earpiece has been better, and yeah, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Till then, happy benching.